Glad you could join us now in our first story. The second gender court has sentenced Rose Mausi Fiaku, the woman who stole a baby as the market circle, to 5 years in hard labor for stealing 1-year-old Frances Mausi Ahiabenu. Her sentence was delivered after a psychiatric evaluation proved she was mentally sound. My colleague Natalia Kwanzaa was in court and joins me on the phone. Ina, tell us what happened in court today.
Okay, Daniel, so the judge, her ladyship Abena Ajenduku, read the results from the hospital, which stated that she is very sound and not mentally, she's not mentally unsound as her mother described the last time in court. So there and then the judge said, okay, then they are going to give her sentence. When the judge said that, she started wailing in court, and then she got down crying and all that. So the judge asked that she should stand up for her to see her tears. Probably her tears would convince her to lessen the sentence. When she stood up, the judge realized that there was no tears on her face. So she said, even with this wailing, you are wailing and all that, I know it is fake because I can't see any tears on your face. Then the judge also said, you have lied to this court on several occasions. Firstly, you told the court that you had a child, which we found that it is never true. You also told the court that when you were arrested, the police manhandled you, which resulted into you having a miscarriage, and it was also false. You told the court that you were pregnant, which was false. You told the court that you were mentally unsound. We realized these were all false. So after several pleas from a lawyer known as Emmanuel Atta, who is holding grief for his accomplice, Lawson Latte, the judge finally sentenced her to 5 years imprisonment in hard labor. But his accomplice, Lawson Latte, is to appear before the court on the 29th of April.
Quite a dramatic scene you described there in court. And this accomplice, Lawson Latte, you're referring to, that's the boyfriend, isn't it?
Yes, Daniel.
Right. And what has his lawyer been saying?
Well, his lawyer refused to speak today. During the last court proceedings, they gave him bail, so he came to court today, and then he's supposed to reappear. So on the 29th, we would know what would also be his fate.
Thank you very much, Natalia Kwanzaa. We'll keep an eye on that case as well. Now, away from that, the driver of Doma West Member of Parliament, Ali Maiga, has allegedly inflicted deep multiple knife wounds on a fan after an Easter football gala on Monday organized by the Member of Parliament. We may want to further speak with the police and the MP, who I gather has been asked to produce his driver. The football gala, dubbed Peace and Unity Community Competition at Nkran Kwanta Presby Park, turned bloody at the end of the final match. Zongo team, which lost by a lone goal, is perceived to be NDC, while eventual winners Yakrum, some refer to have ties to the ruling party. A protest against biased officiating escalated results. Now, it's resulted in that driver inflicted some deep knife wounds on this person. Now, at a press conference, the Doma West constituency of the NDC said they will use every legitimate means to protect and defend innocent citizens within the constituency while calling on the police to ensure justice. Let's get on the phone lines and speak with the Member of Parliament for the area, Ali Maiga, to give us an understanding of what happened. Mr. Maiga, good afternoon. Thanks for your time. Is it true that your driver inflicted these knife wounds on a gentleman? And what reasons has he been giving you?
Good afternoon, Dan, and good afternoon to the cherished viewers and listeners. I'm not sure if it is a knife wound, but I'm sure the gentleman suffered some wounds, but I'm not sure if it is a knife wound or something. But
what's your understanding of what happened, Mr. Maiga?
What happened was that, every year I play these games called Ali Mega Peace and Unity Cup, and we play the preliminaries and Easter Sundays and Easter Mondays for the grand finale. And normally what we do is that at the electoral area level, teams that qualifies at the electoral levels are brought to Kankwanta for the grand finale. And this year, because of the time, and we decided to do it in the 2 days. And because of the numbers we were expecting, we deployed some party boys, including my driver, to provide security for the linesman and other officials that were invited. And because of the high tension, we asked them to assist the police and other security. So what happened was that Friday we had Sunday we had a 5 games and it was fruitful, no incidents free and anything. Then on Sunday, on Monday, Easter Monday, we had 6 games. But what happened was that Zongo FC, it's not true that Zongo FC is perceived to the NDC as your report is not true, because about 80% of the players are MPP boys who plays for the Zongo FC. So it's not true that the Zongo FC is perceived to be an NDC. And the last tournament we did, Zongo FC won the trophy for the last. And me as a Zongo boy and as a Zongo MC myself, everybody knows that I was supporting the Zongo team. So clearly, it's not true that the Zongo FC was perceived to the NDC. But what happened was that these NDC boys planned to attack the officials, and intelligence we gathered was that the plan was to disrupt the exercise because it was massive attendance. So Zongo FC and the Yakrom went for the final, and indeed everybody who was the mic could testify. The Yakrom FC outclassed the Zongo FC, which I, as a member of parliament, I was a little bit biased, which I was not supposed to, for supporting the Zongo FC. Then when we closed, I think the boys were coming to attack the lines. Indeed, that same boy, which is indeed the boy in question, let me put on record that the boy in question is my nephew, it's my cousin's son. So my direct.
The boy who was wounded.
The boy was wounded. Yeah, that's my nephew, my direct cousin's son. So it's not. I wonder why they are taking the case of NDs and MPP. The family matter. It's my nephew, and I paid him a visit at the hospital twice. Indeed, the whole family, my brothers and the whole family paid him a visit twice at the hospital. And indeed, I made an effort to pay the hospital bill, but the father, who's also my cousin, we the government have this family marriage issue. So the father just said, no, he's the head of the family. So even if it's my son who has get injured, he was supposed to pay the hospital bill, so they won't take the money. And
okay, Mr. Maiga. Mr. Maiga, if I may, what reason was given for this attack on your boy, as you stated?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. So what happened was that when the referee closed the match, when the Zongo lost by a long goal, these boys came there to attack the linesman. And these were the boys deployed to protect the lines. So as they were leading the linesman there, my nephew was carrying a stick to come and hit the linesman, who he had earlier slapped. Let's put a record, which he had earlier slapped. So my driver was defending the linesman. So my brother and some of the MPP boys that we deployed, he was defending.
But Mr. Maiga, why did you get party boys to handle security?
No, like I said, the party boys were deployed to augment the police. You
told me earlier in this interview that you got some party boys to handle your security. Why?
No, I said not to, but augment them. But the police were there. You can ask the chief inspector. The police were there.
But you told me that you got party boys for the purpose of provision of security. Why?
No, I said, okay, maybe that was a slave, but they were there to augment the police. So the police were there, but
you didn't trust the police to do a good job?
No, the numbers were not adequate. Indeed, the divisional commander last week told me that if I had informed him earlier, I would deploy about 50. But the numbers were inadequate. I think we had about only 10 police officers.
So why did you not inform the divisional commander to give you more security men? And why did you rely on party boys?
No, I think I didn't do the organization myself. Let me put a record.
But you hold brief for it in the end. The buck stops with you.
No, I agree with you. That's why I'm still talking. But you have a finish with what happened there. We can go into this.
We will go to the police on the other hand, on the other line. But Mr. Maiga, you do realize that the vigilantism issue we have is because of party boys handling security, right?
I agree with you. But these are the vigilantes. These are not vigilantes.
I haven't called them vigilantes. I haven't.
Huh?
I haven't called them vigilantes. Thank you very much, Mr. Maiga. I'll go on the other lines and speak with.
You asked the question.
I wish you could end that, but we have to speak with the police PRO who is on the other line. Chief Inspector.
What led to the
Mr. Maiga, apologies, but we don't have all the time. If I may, we'll go to Chief Inspector Augustine Kingsley Opong, who has joined us on the phone with more. Good afternoon, Chief Inspector. Thanks for your time. Where is the suspect now? What charges are you holding against him?
Thank you, my brother. greetings to all your cherished listeners. I hope you have finished with the story, and I have to give you the main point that you are asking.
Yes, we just want to know, yes, where the suspect is, what are the charges?
The suspect has been granted bail and to reappear on Monday for us to proceed to court. And he was charged for causing unlawful harm.
Okay. What did he enter into his statement of claim? Did he, into his charge sheet, did he say that the reason for this attack, the suspect?
For that one, that is not within my purview, please.
Right. So what's next in your... Go ahead, please.
That is why we are sending to court. If I decide to unveil everything to you, then we have started the case.
Well, I simply wanted listeners and viewers to get the opportunity to compare that to what the Member of Parliament just said, which is that this is not politically motivated.
Yes,
and
sir.
that...
My brother, you see, you asked me specific question. That is why I also answered that way. You didn't want, maybe you didn't start with the narration, you see. That's why I made my words so snappy.
I understand. So I just want to get your view on this account that we have heard, specifically. That is this...
If what the police have given me to speak on is about a crime which is alleged to have been committed by Ali Ibrahim, you understand?
Right.
So, per the narration that the MP, Honorable MP, was giving, I don't think that would be in the interest of the police. No. We are much more...
Fine.
Yes, against the crime that the person committed.
Fine. So finally, Chief Inspector, is this victim suffering knife wounds or any other wounds?
Yes, that is so.
So
what we have seen, we are suspecting that it's a sharp implement. You can't mention knife or what, but the investigation will prove it.
Thank you very much, Chief Inspector Opon, for joining us. He's the police PRO for the region. Now, police have successfully rescued an Indian businessman kidnapped on Thursday by gunmen in Kumasi, the Ashanti region capital. This follows hours of investigations after receiving reports on the incident. The 30-year-old Umpakan Chaudhry, according to eyewitnesses, was forcibly taken and pushed inside a vehicle around Ahojo late afternoon. The witnesses told the victim's brother Tamil Kumar that the kidnappers, numbering about 3, first tapped on Umpakan Chaudhry's vehicle that he has a flat tire. My colleague Erastus Asaridonko is on the beat and joins us via the phone with more. Erastus, where was Umpakan Chaudhry found and with whom?
Well, so he was found at a private residence close to Akukwamong Primary School in JHS. Akukwamong is a small community after Pakoso in the Aswansi constituency. And that's where he was found this morning with a bloodshot eye, a swollen face, and he was bleeding through the nose as well.
Okay, any arrests made so far?
No arrests at the moment. In fact, when the police team got there, we were trailing them. So we got to the area where the occupants of the house told us that Chaudhry came there, knocked on their door at dawn today, and went down on his knees, asking them to protect him and that he has been kidnapped. And at a point, he told them that he was able to fight them off and break free from what they had tied him with, and that's how come he's able to enter their house at that moment. But eyewitnesses also saw a green saloon car parked in that vicinity around 8 p.m. Yesterday with 2 gentlemen with mobile phones sitting on a wall close to the Akukwamong Primary NJHS school. So that is what we know for now.
And this was before, this car was seen before Mr. Chaudhry was found?
Exactly, that was yesterday. And so he was abducted around Ahojo, which is about 7 to 8 kilometers from Ahojo to this place. That was around 6 p.m. thereabout. But they found the green saloon car around the school in Akukwamong around 8 p.m. It was at dawn today that he managed to break free from them and entered the private residence in the area and beg them to keep him.
So where is Mr. Chaudhry now?
Well, Chaudhry has been sent to the Central Police Headquarters by the police team led by the PRO himself, Godwin Ahianyo. Currently, I'm learning that he's receiving medical care, and police are also taking statements as well.
Thank you very much, Erastus Sardonko. It's good to hear that Mpakan Chaudhry has been found. We'll move from security issues, though, and move to education, because the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition is pushing for the scrapping of the double-track system. The coalition is worried the system will churn out poor-quality students compared to private schools. But you recall the government at the introductory stage of the program projected it must put in place some infrastructure to enable it accommodate the increasing number of intake. In July 2018, the National Education Campaign Coalition said poor consultation led to the implementation of the double-track system. And just this week, the coalition wants the system phased out. Chairman of the GNECC, Kofi Asare, was in the studio earlier.
The indicators on the ground suggest that children are learning from 7:40 to up to 5:15 in many schools. Now, the students in school now, they went to school sometime in December. Green track. They came for Xmas break, went back in January. They've been in school from January till now. They've been in school from January till now. Some of the schools, they don't go for the 1 week, the 1 week vacation. No, not the Easter. There was a vacation, that's the end of semester. You know, now it's now 2 semesters. There was a vacation. Most of them didn't go, it was just a 1 week. Most schools didn't even go. Okay? And so they've been in school for that long. From December, they went for Xmas break, came in January, and they've been in school up till now. Okay. And they're going to be in school till mid-May. Count the number of months. Count the number of months they're in school. Now, the teachers are even saying that, look, the children are tired. And everybody knows that. From December till now, they are still in school. Teachers who are teaching another track green have been teaching since the beginning of the last semester in December. Okay. In January, February, March, for those who did not go for the 1 week break, April, May, they are still in school teaching. Now, the break was 1 week between first semester and second semester. What happened? Because it was just 1 week, teachers could not have enough time to mark. And so the next semester started after 1 week. So they were teaching for long hours between 7:40 and up to 4 and 5:15, and at the same time marking. Let's be honest. We are engaging teachers in the schools. We are engaging students in the schools. Teachers cannot say these things to the ministry because we know what will happen when most teachers express their candid opinion about the poor quality of teaching and learning under the system. And so Dr. Richum will always defend what government is doing because he is the person mandated by government to do it. But then I am not listening to what he's saying. I am telling him that we have been on the ground. And we want to draw attention of government to the fact that the quality of teaching and learning under the double track has taken a nosedive. And so they will not tell the politicians the right thing because they fear to victimize. And so we are telling them, you either take this advice in good faith or you keep tickling yourself and pretend that there's anything quality going on under the free senior school. Next year, they'll write the WASI and then we will see, they will see how the input is reflecting the output.
Now, Deputy Education Minister in charge of pre-tertiary education, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, says the double-track system is on track. He explained government is working on the infrastructure needed to bridge the gap.
$500 million has been released to act for construction across the length and breadth of this country. We have 429 units of dormitory and classroom blocks currently awarded on contract. We have a number of schools that are now under construction. In some places, it's at advanced stage. Fortunately, we also got the GMPC Foundation, thanks to the efforts of Dr. KK Sapong. 48 classroom blocks are nearing completion. And then we recently awarded the 429 classrooms and dorms to be built across all the schools that are in the double-track program. When we move the students from Form 1 to Form 2, they are going to be on a single track. As a result, if you look at a school that has, let's say, 1,200 students in Form 1, and they are moving into second year and they are going to be together, it means if their second year enrollment was 800, you have 400 extra spaces that you need to create, which means you need 8 classrooms in order for that school to accommodate all the students on a single track in the second year. Come September 2019, the Form 2 students will be together in a single cohort, and their double track era will be over for them. But the Form 1s will be double track at the same enrollment level so that we can accommodate all the students that are on track to come into senior high school next year, which we project to be 469,000. The teachers who are teaching belong to different tracks. And therefore, they are not staying in the school teaching all the other students for them to be there for so long that they don't have vacation. The gold track teachers go on vacation when the gold track students are on vacation. Green track are on vacation when green track students are on vacation. So it's not the same group of teachers who are staying there to teach all the group of students. Teachers in this country are very creative and innovative. They know the best practices in instruction. They know how you scaffold in the classroom and differentiate. They know how you break up your classes into groups so that the student can work among themselves. So even if we have an hour, Ghanaian teachers are skilled and they will use it to the benefit.
Now, the University of Education, Winneba State Education, is being charged to lead the transformation agenda to ensure Ghana's education system meets international standards. Deputy Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, says the university's continuous inputs to enhance basic and tertiary education will increase effective human resource for national development. He spoke at the launch in Kumasi of UEW's 5-year corporate strategic plan. Nana Sensumenta was there.
There's something that can be done in this nation when we change the way we teach and learn, when we put fear outside the classroom, when we take the cane outside the classroom, and allow students to feel our presence as leaders and adults, and don't see ourselves as sages on stage, that we know it all, and the children are here to learn from us, without deferring to them on some issues and getting their input in the learning process and saying to yourselves, I'm the one who knows it all. Write it according to how I dictated it to you and give it to me. Do not add anything to it. If you add something to it, you will never get an A.
Human Capital Index by the World Bank indicates Ghana will lose 50% of its human resource capacity in the next 18 years unless the education system changes. Dr. Osei Educhum charges the university to put policies ahead of politics in the national interest.
Unfortunately, those who are in education themselves are not the ones that they refer to as educationists. Invariably, you may have a professor somewhere, he has been at the university, he's taught some subjects, it has nothing to do with education, but he may be the one determining education policy. I want you, as educationists, eminent educationists, to step up and take your rightful place in this nation so that the Ministry of Education will not move forward with education without consulting you. And that your ideas and operate in an environment where your ideas will be appreciated and your ideas will find their ways into classrooms and turn around the classrooms.
The UEW 5-year corporate strategic plan is meant to address emerging challenges confronting the institution. Reverend Professor Anthony Afubroni is Vice Chancellor.
Unfortunately, research input remains very low in sub-Saharan African universities. The plan, therefore, has strategies aimed at 1. Creating enabling environment that support research. 2. Conducting innovative research that takes into consideration the needs of industry and society. 3. Enhancing staff capacity in research, innovation, and knowledge transfer. And 4. Expanding graduate studies, research, and output.
Nana Asenso-Mensah reporting.
Away from education, the Ashanti regional capital Kumasi is said to have witnessed 17 incidents of fire outbreak in 4 days during the Easter period. Besides a few minor injuries, especially to firefighters, and destruction of property worth millions of cedis left owners devastated, I should say. Now, also of grave concern is the huge volume of smoke released into the atmosphere and the implication on human health. Lab FM Kwesi Deborah looks at the environmental impact of fire outbreaks.
Clouds of smoke billowing over the Safo Township. One of the biggest markets in Kumasi has been touched. It partially survived the blaze the previous night, but barely 24 hours later, as happened at the central market, it was never spared.
He came to meet an inferno, and the rapid spread of the fire was so severe that we all had to leave wherever we've been and come in.
6 fire engines are already out of water, while firefighters looked worn out. Apart from the physical exertion, the smoke has been less and less charitable towards them.
I've inhaled a lot of smoke, and today you saw it for yourself, with one of them virtually collapsing, and the other one who also sustained several injuries.
The fourth incident, which together with the markers, occurred at the Grace Chapel of the Calvary Charismatic Church. Fire personnel are clearly seen fighting fire without personal protection equipment. Edwin Echo Blankson is Chief Fire Officer.
It's something that we came to meet, and the government is trying very, very hard to correct that. When fire service was founded in 1963, we were using pool jackets, just like you go and come. As and when you are on duty, whether it is soaked in blood, oil, or infected with any disease, you don it. But now, it is not workable. A lot of diseases are right with us, communicable diseases. So the government is trying to clothe every fireman so that every fireman can boast of a dedicated clothing. We are doing it, and very, very soon.
According to the World Health Organization, smoke inhalation is the primary cause of death for many fire victims. Exposure to hot gaseous substances can cause serious respiratory complications. About 50 to 80% of death caused by fire is the result of smoke inhalation injury, including burns to the respiratory system. Hot smoke injury caused by a combination of thermal damage, poisoning, and pulmonary irritation and swelling. All these are caused by carbon monoxide, cyanide, and other combustibles. Samuel Tenjesi is Ashanti Regional Director of Environmental Protection Agency.
These smokes have effects on your eyes, your nose, and your throat. You understand? You see, that is why when you approach it, or when it punches on you, it becomes so irritating. Your eye or your nose or whatever becomes so irritating. You understand? So because of that, if you don't take steps to prevent it from coming to you, so that level of irritation will go down or will move at all, it means that you are going to have health effect on your body.
Different but similar damage is visited on the environment.
To have effect on the climate change, it will increase the climate change. You understand? The climate change, once you are increasing the carbon, definitely you are increasing the climate change problem.
Interestingly, at the break of dawn, a few hours after the blaze, traders invade the scene ready to begin reconstruction, exposing themselves to smoke inhalation. That was, however, halted by city authorities. EPA regulations prescribe every facility owner to perform air quality analysis.
The quality analysis should be conducted before the activity. You understand? So, for example, this one that has happened, maybe it's an opportunity for the owners to conduct air quality there before they reconstruct it.
Live news checks, however, reveal the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has no equipment to conduct analysis. Even the EPA's air quality meter is dysfunctional.
The only challenge that we have at the Kumasi office now is that our meter is not functioning. So we normally rely on the head office for those kind of checks. But notwithstanding that, there are a lot of air quality checks that are going on across the metropolis and even Ashanti region.
Like fire personnel, they wait for government intervention, which can take even years to come. Until then, firefighters and residents within immediate disaster areas as well as the environment will continue to live with a potential killer. Kwesi Debra reporting.
Condolences to all these businessmen who have lost so much in investments. You're still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. We'll take a few messages now and we take business.